in the building. How's everybody doing? I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like what you're seeing, you can like, share, subscribe, and you can donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. Talking about Devin Haney being a weight bully. This is not going to take too long, but first of all praise be to the Most High. The Most High God comes first. For anybody in my country, I am selling products which help with cleaning. So I've got an all-purpose cleaner here. I've got also, let me pull this out of the archives here. I also have dishwashing liquid. I also have fabric softener, and also I have liquid detergent soap for clothes. Now, each one of these online, offline is a totally different price, but online, if you order online, you can get them for $8 a piece. 500 ml or half a liter of cleaning agent, and for $8. You're not gonna get a price this cheap anywhere. So I'm just shouting out to my products. They're gonna be known as LIVE. So just shout out to the products out there. If you're in my country, which is Trinidad and Tobago, and you want to get, the best cleaning products because they come straight from the factory, you can get it from me for a fraction of the cost that you would pay for them in the store. All right, now I'm gonna get to y'all and this issue here. By the way, you guys can donate to me again via PayPal. The link is in the description for those of you who do support this channel, and I appreciate y'all. Now, with respect to Devin Haney being a weight bully, and they're saying that this is so. I was listening to Coach Shelton Harris, CSH channel, and he was going by the saying that, there are different degrees of cheating, and if you're saying that Devin Haney, it's illegal for Devin Haney to rehydrate above a certain limit, and that's cheating. What about some guy who uses PED and alters his whole body structure just to beat? I'm going to say this first and foremost. Devin Haney has not cheated in any way, shape, or form. The WBC does not have a rehydration limit to how far a fighter can rehydrate going into a fight. The IBF, on the other hand, they do have a rehydration limit, which is you have to go and weigh in on the scale the day of the fight. I think it's the morning of the fight, and you cannot come in more than 10 pounds over the weight limit that you weighed in the day before. Now, that is not the case with the WBC. People say that Devin Haney rehydrates to these exorbitant weights so that he becomes a weight bully in there, and that's unfair. I'm going to say this. You can't call no one a weight bully if they're making the weight. What you have to understand is Devin Haney's a big dude. He's been a big dude for a long time, even when he was at lightweight. We have fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson. Started off at lightweight. Okay, Sugar Ray Robinson was a big, massive lightweight. Massive lightweight. Okay. He come in the day of the fight, he make the 135, but by the night of the fight, he wasn't wearing 135. You get what I'm saying? Nobody weighs the weight that they weighed in, even the day of the fight. Our rehydration clause ain't gonna change what Devin Haney comes into the ring with on fight night. Devin Haney has consistently, even at lightweight, he was coming in 150 something. Okay. Now that he's at super lightweight, he's coming in 160 something. Devin Haney said he could go into welterweight and start fighting at welterweight because it's still difficult to make the weight. What y'all have to understand is when you make weight, you are sacrificing and straining the body to get down there. So it counterbalances the rehydration afterwards. So you're still not as strong as if you were to come in at a higher weight class. So that's the major point. So by Devin Haney following the rules and actually making weight before he goes into the ring and rehydrates to whatever he rehydrates naturally to, he's not breaking any rules. It's not cheating, and he's not a weight bully, right? However, what Ryan Garcia did is what we call weight bullying, because he did not come in on the scales at the weight limit that Devin Haney came in on the scales at. So he had a weight advantage going into the fight because he didn't sacrifice like Devin Haney sacrificed to make weight. That's an example of a weight bully. Even if he comes in on fight night 160, maybe even less than Devin Haney weighed in, which I don't believe, but nonetheless, he's a weight bully. That's what you call weight bullying. When you say that a guy who's big, he's got a big bone structure and stuff, but he can make it down to a lower weight class, make the weight and rehydrate to something that fits his frame, you don't call that person a weight bully. Okay, because people come in different dimensions and sizes. So Devin Haney, he's I think 5'10". He has a 71-inch reach, a 72-inch reach. He's a long, tall guy for the weight class. So Devin Haney's going to have to fill out his frame. I think Devin Haney can go all the way up to 154, maybe even 160 when all is said and done. He may go up to 160, maybe even 168. Who knows? He's a big dude. Okay. When we talk about David Benavidez, when we talk about Errol Spence Jr., that y'all call them weight bullies, and wrongfully so. They're not weight bullies. They're big guys who happen to be at a certain weight class, and they're just big guys. Okay? Naturally. So, people talking about, Devin Haney. And another thing, which is very important, just because a guy's physically bigger than you doesn't mean anything once we're coming in on a level playing field in terms of weight, in terms of being clean, etc. So if you're coming on a level playing field, then it don't really matter because you're both weighed in at the same weight for the weight class. You satisfy the criteria for the weight class. So the playing field is level. So Devin Haney followed all the rules. He did what he was supposed to do. He's a big dude, okay? And he sacrificed a lot to make the weight. He sacrificed a lot to make the weight at 135, which is why he wasn't strong enough at the lower weights and why he wasn't punching hard enough at the lower weights. Because you actually sacrifice something to do that. As he goes up, 140, he had a little more pop, a little bit more power. But he probably really started to see results at 147 and 154. So when somebody says that Devin Haney was a weight bully or he was cheating, he wasn't cheating. Y'all wasn't saying that for Tommy Hearns when Tommy Hearns was at welterweight. Tommy Hearns went all the way up to cruiserweight when all is said and done. Y'all wasn't calling him no weight bully. Y'all wasn't calling Marvin Hagler a weight bully. Marvin Hagler was bigger than most of the guys that he was facing, and naturally bigger, that is. No. So why are you selectively with your outrage calling Devin Haney? Y'all don't call Tyson Fury a weight bully. Tyson Fury came in, he literally used weight as an advantage over Deontay Wilder. Right? And he cheated on top of that to get an advantage over Deontay Wilder. In the second fight, he was way heavier and he used his size and his weight. Y'all didn't call him a weight bully. So how is it you can praise certain fighters and other fighters, all of a sudden, you start manufacturing rules and regulations for them to call them this, that, and the third? First of all, you're inconsistent. And second of all, you're hypocritical. So, no, Devin Haney wasn't a weight bully, one. And two, Devin Haney didn't break no rules. He's not cheating at all. And when Regis Program makes these claims, because it's Regis Program who's making these claims. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Regis Program be making these kinds of claims. You have to ask yourself, why is this guy making those claims? Because they're not true. There's no truth to those claims. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find it somewhere here. Maybe this is it. Okay. All right. Ryan Kossi been saying a lot of stupid stuff also as late. He been saying how he gonna sue Devin Haney. Devin Haney owe him money and all kinds of stupid stuff. And really and truly, he's just saying that because he knows he's gonna get suspended because he has no alibi. Oh, I want to show y'all something. So on Devin Haney's Twitter here, which we're up on, Victor Conte comes out and says this. Enough Ryan Garcia versus Canelo hair test comparisons. My take. Canelo gives receipts to a restaurant with contaminated meat traceable to a slaughterhouse. And study shows 30% of Mexican meat is contaminated. He then did a hair test suggesting no intent, and Ryan Garcia is yet to present a source. In other words, Canelo built a case. He said, look, see this place here, this restaurant here has contaminated meat. This is where we traced it to. And he showed, and the labs, whatever, did the test on the meat, and it turned out to be contaminated. And then Canelo did a hair follicle test to show that at the present moment in time, there was no clenbuterol in his system. See, the hair follicle test was supposedly retain some of those metabolites that would have been in clenbuterol. If he was repeatedly doing this thing, it would be sustained. It would be even there, even now. See? So he did a hair follicles test, and supposedly that's supposed to show that if he was repeatedly using this thing and it wasn't a one-time event. See, if it's a one-time event, the clenbuterol will pop up in the system and then it will degrade. If it is a continual event, that is, he's continuously using clenbuterol, then the clenbuterol will show up in his hair follicle test in concentrations and amounts that shows he was consistently using. So it's not intent per se. It's showing, hey, I got contaminated. That I wasn't continuously using this. I got contaminated. So for example, you use the hair follicle test. Now the only thing about the hair follicle test I don't like is he could have cycled off. So when you do the hair follicle test, you don't see significant amounts of clenbuterol in the hair follicle test, or probably none. Now the hair follicles, what they retain the chemicals. So it's one of those tests to say, oh, it retained this. So if you use a significant amount, even if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago, there would be some residue in the hair follicles as a certain amount or quantity, which has a limit, in which they'd be able to incriminate you on that. So in the case of Ryan Garcia, he has no reference point. You understand what I'm saying? He has no reference point to show, okay, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and the third, that kind of thing. Okay? So, if you guys want to leave comments on this, feel free to comment. Let me see if anybody said anything. Shavo said, salute King. Salute to you, Shavo, in the building. Shavo in the building. All right, my brother. So if there is, the first thing Ninja need to do is he needs to identify the source of where his ostarine is coming from. And to make a case like that, the next thing he has to do is a hair follicle test to see if the ostarine is in his hair follicles. Now, even if they're not in his follicles, that don't really confirm. Well, it depends on how much is in his hair follicles. But with clenbuterol, apparently it stays in your system long enough for that to happen. But you have to identify your source as well. Where did you get this clenbuterol from? So they could test to see, where do you get the ostarine from? So they could test to see if there's ostarine in the thing that you took. You see what I'm saying? Now, he was claiming that the ostarine was coming from some sort of herbal supplement he was using. But the people for the company for that herbal supplement, they went and did tests. They did 3 separate tests from 3 independent labs, and it came up, all the labs did not find ostarine in the thing. So he had to go find something, first of all, to get his alibi that had ostarine in it that he somehow unknowingly took. And then he has to go now and show with the hair follicle test, okay, so this thing wasn't in my system long enough. This shows my intent. I didn't intentionally take this. This was accidental. So that's what he had to do. But the thing about it is, his case gonna be harder. I'm gonna tell you two reasons why. First reason is that with Canelo, it's known that in Mexico you get contaminated meat. He went to a restaurant, he ate contaminated meat, so he can make an easier case. His case can be easier to make. Ryan has to first of all find out there's no, it's not common that ostarine is found in supplements, first of all. Because it's not supposed to be. It's banned by the FDA. You're not supposed to have no SARMs in your supplements. And while supplements aren't rigidly controlled by the FDA, wherever Ryan Garcia got his supplement from, which in this case is a known company, that company would, it's banned. So why would I have a banned substance inside my product? You know what I'm saying? So, I think they call it the ashwagandha root. So they, of course, they're not going to be cool with that. So they did tests to make sure that their product was in line. Otherwise, Ryan could, he could do, they could have a defamation lawsuit on Ryan if he's accusing them of having ostarine in their compound, in their product, which is supposed to be naturopathic. Chavo TV says, so Ryan hasn't even presented the hair test in New York yet. I don't know. The commission hasn't had him go before them yet. But what I can tell you is that ashwagandha excuse ain't gonna fly. Two, it's not known, like how Canelo in Mexico, it was known that, in Mexico there was tainted meat. There's nothing known to say that Ryan, somehow, accidentally was given this stuff. There's nothing like that. So that's what Victor Conte is showing the difference. Now, why am I citing Victor Conte? Because Victor Conte was once convicted of the Balco scandal. He has since turned around, and he's like one of those guys who call out people on cheating. Okay, and he's really doing a good job of that. It doesn't matter who you are. It could be even one of his clients. He'll call you out. Okay, Vada been calling out everybody. Ryan's tune has been changing. He's had many, many different lies. He's been saying one after the other. The walls are closing in on Ryan when it comes to boxing. Because if you cannot give a credible explanation to the New York State Athletic Commission of why ostarine is in the system, and it is in the system, it was in the system, post-fight, and also at the day of the weigh-in, they detected it. It was confirmed, so it's there in the system. If the New York State Athletic Commission, if he doesn't have a credible alibi, oh man, the New York State Athletic Commission should come down really hard on him, because they'll have to assume, since he doesn't have a way of defending himself properly, that he intentionally took it. In which case, if you do remember Baby Miller, he was suspended, I think, for 3 years. They may suspend Ryan Garcia for 3 years. We might not see Ryan Garcia in boxing, at least in terms of the New York State Athletic Commission, and I believe in associated commissions in America. He might fight in Saudi Arabia. He might fight in, some other part of the world. But when it comes to America, where the commissions are involved, and New York particularly, he will not be able to fight there. He might get a license in California. He might be able to pull that off. He might be able to get one in Las Vegas. Who knows? Money talks, bullshit walks. But what I do know is when it comes to New York, he ain't gonna be able to fight there, because they will sanction his ass, and they will have him. They may revoke his boxing license he'll have a ban for 3 years. If he can't come with a plausible explanation. His lawyers are trying to claw but you gotta find where this ostarine came from. You gotta find that. Because the New York State, there was another guy talking about how the New York State Electric Commission doesn't recognize VADA or any independent testing anti-doping agency. Well, I'm going to tell y'all this. That ain't no surprise. VADA's been recommending to the New York State Elected Commission. VADA's been recommending to California State Elected Commission. VADA's been recommending to the Nevada State Elected Commission. There's nothing. VADA's not in control of the sanctioning and laws. They just do tests and then they present it to the different commissions and then they make their ruling on the test, even if the commissions did their own tests, because you can't have enough testing. Okay, so most definitely, the New York State Elected Commission will take into account the VADA testing that happened. It's independent testing, which is very good. They're talking about the hair follicle test. That's cool as well. They can take that into account, but it has to have a context behind it. The hair follicle test on its own, just solely, has no weight to it. The VADA testing, and even the people who conducted the test, the hair follicle test, they said that VADA is more convincing and more persuasive in the argument about Ryan than their hair follicle test. All their hair follicle test is saying is that the stuff was in Ryan's system when VADA tested him, but it's not in the system now. That's all the hair follicle test could show. I don't know if that's the real results, because lying Ryan lies so much, we don't know. Okay, but what I can tell you is, if independent test is done, and both parties, Devin Haney and Ron Garcia, needs to be privy to this, as well as VADA, as well as the New York State Elected Commission. You can't just do your own little private independent hair test, somewhere in the quiet. No, you need to be evaluated by experts, etc. If you do that, you gotta have context for it, because you gotta identify where that oscarine came from. And so far, Ryan Garcia does not know where the oscarine came from. So if that's the thing with Canelo. Canelo's case is a kind of open and closed book, because literally the whole entire Olympic team, which visited, I think it was the Argentinian team that went to Mexico, they ended up having clenbuterol in their system, and all of them was dirty. And then they found out it was from the tainted meat. So that's where Canelo gets a convincing argument on clenbuterol. And I'm not talking about whether Canelo's clean or dirty. He had clenbuterol in the system. He popped dirty. Okay. Whether or not his argument is true or not is not the case. It's whether you can make a convincing argument. Chavo TV says he's going to fight a UFC fighter, but for some reason I feel like he's not going to get a harsh punishment. He gonna get a pretty harsh punishment, but it's not gonna bother him, because let me tell you something: money talk, bullshit walks. Ryan got a lot of money, so even if he's fired and suspended from boxing, even banned from boxing, he don't care, because he got this huge fan base behind him. The only way to hurt Ryan Garcia is to literally go to his pockets. You have to sue his ass like Logan Paul is doing. And now you see Ryan talking a different language, talking about let's be friends, Logan, but Logan's not going to be no fucking friend with you, because you done already out yourself. So he going to sue your ass and continue to sue you, okay, for defamation. Devin Haney and the Haney team, they're going to sue him for almost like an assault charge, almost like a murder charge, because he cheated. And by cheating, you make void the contract that you had in front of you, which means the disclaimer clause, that's out the window. This is like an assault, that you assaulted a guy. So Devin Haney and Bill Haney, they're going to sue his ass, and they're going to get a lot of money from him. And Paul Logan, he's going to continue to sue his ass and get a lot of money from him. And Ryan now realizes he's in the shit, because this is just the beginning. The New York State Elected Commission is going to fine him. And when they fine him, they're going to take some of his money too. Okay? Everybody going to dip in the pot, because your dumb ass decided to cheat. If you didn't cheat, and if you didn't say the stupid stuff that you said, you wouldn't be in this position right now. Shava says, I think people saying that New York, what the fuck? Hold on a second. Oh shit. Yeah. Yo, you were saying something. Hold on a second. All right, there you go. Where you at? I was seeing the comments, and all of a sudden the comments just disappeared on me. Wow, that's crazy. That's some whack shit. You were saying something, Chavez, and I can't see it now. I don't know why. I can't see my comments. So Some whack ass shit. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay. I'm learning how to use this thing. All right, cool. So anyway, I say all of this just to say that Ryan Garcia, man, he dug a hole for himself. Devin Haney says, so some people are saying that, for some reason, y'all Mexican food isn't good out there. He talking about in Portland. He's not Portland, Oakland. And Devin Haney said, you crazy out of your mind, because there's a lot of Mexicans in Oakland, California. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Mexicans there. A lot of people. It's a nice melting pot. All right. Now, with respect to Devin Haney, like I said before, Ryan Garcia did damage to Devin Haney. No doubt about it. Okay, listen to Paulie Malignaggi here.
Microdosing during camp. And when you're microdosing, it is trapped in the fat and therefore not going into your bloodstream. So therefore it's hard.
Same shit
and when there's no fights and nobody's getting tested, because boxing is the Wild West and doesn't test in between fights. And then you're microdosing during camp. And when you're microdosing, it is trapped in the fat and therefore not going into your bloodstream. So therefore it's harder to catch you. When a fighter struggles to make weight, sometimes they're losing all that fat and you get a little bit of tricklage coming out of the fat, and the drugs will come out in small spurts. That's why they're always caught in small doses. And people, the moronic part of the population will say, oh, that's not enough to help him. That's just the part that finally leaks.
The leftovers.
Yes, and because they struggle in weight, which is also a typical thing when you start to think about it, why guys keep moving up in weight. So there's less struggles when they're doping to make weight, and therefore they keep moving up in weight and keep showing no signs of weakening and no signs of aging and no signs of, we don't have to name names. The box is right with it, But nonetheless, now when I started to learn this part, because every single time a guy fails, I'm always asking questions and I'm always learning a little bit more. And this time, when it came to this microdosing situation, it's a big way to beat even the random drug tests, because it's not going to show up unless you're really draining yourself. So therefore, it makes sense why guys keep moving up in weight. So Ryan was struggling to make the weight, and he failed right at the end. But he passed in the middle of camp. This kind of explanation is an explanation worth looking into when it comes to his failed B test, B sample. As for the lawyers, they're going to play lawyer and they're going to manipulate it as much as possible and mention that he passed those tests in the middle of camp. Well, I just explained to you in the method that microdosing work why he would have passed the tests in the middle of camp but failed at the very end.
And mask it as well.
Because at the very end was when he was drained. Remember, he struggled to make weight. He was drained, and therefore the substances start coming out, which is also explains why he's now talking about fighting at welterweight, junior middleweight, super middleweight against Benavidez. You also get a little bit of sense of why he would do that as well if this is the case. Once you know how the science of it works, you start to really put things together. You can reach your own conclusions. If you want to be a groupie, you can and reach no conclusions. But I'm the person who's going to keep thinking about and keep thinking about not just fighters now, like Ryan, but also fighters in the past, fighters that have failed, fighters that have not failed, and so on and so forth. Really puts
All right. So the other thing that's some misinformation out here, I hear people saying Ryan Garcia, was caught, was caught, doping using 4 different drugs. It's 4 different drugs. It's one drug, but it's 4 different times. Okay. So he failed 4 separate drug tests for Osterine. That's correct. Whether it gave him an advantage or not doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. He ain't just doing this because he want to shoot the breeze. No, it does matter. Whether it was intentional or not doesn't matter. Oh, fuck, yes, it does matter. These are all very important things, and that's what he's going to go before the commission for them to determine. 1, obviously, Osterine gives you advantages. And as Paulie said, you're microdosing Osterine, which means you're using this drug over a period of time. I believe Ryan probably was using it the week of the weigh-in as well, which is why you saw him with leg weights and stuff on. He was still building strength, core strength. So I think he probably microdosed all the way up to the week, and I think because of that he got caught. He really wanted to make sure You know, he was doped up to the max to beat Devin, to have a sensational performance as well, beating him. So this is not something that happened overnight. That's why I said this is not a contamination situation, okay? Because it's microdosing. And a lot of people are beginning to understand what I'm saying when I say he wasn't just microdosing Ostarine. Ostarine's the thing he got caught with, but that's not the only thing he used. And Ostarine, nandrolone, they're generally impurities for synthetic testosterone. I believe this guy was using synthetic testosterone. That they did well to make sure it was flushed out of his system. But it was trying to keep him peak with Ostarine. For some, I don't know if they got Ostarine or if it's an impurity of the synthetic testosterone. It could have been impurity of synthetic testosterone. So, having said that, let me show you guys a little bit more of this here. So Ryan Garcia's officially failed 4 separate drug tests for Ostarine. Whether it gave him an advantage or not doesn't matter. Oh, it does. Whether it was intentional or not doesn't matter. Oh, it does. Ryan Garcia is responsible for what he puts in his body. This is true. The New York State Athletic Commission has warned fighters to not take any supplement for this exact reason. Not that you can't take supplements. So let me explain a couple other things. One of the things that a lot of people do not understand and they don't know is VADA works along with the athlete. So if you say you have a fight, okay, you put a list of things that you're consuming and you relay these things to VADA. When you're going to take something new, you consult VADA or you consult USADA and you say, hey, this supplement or this thing I'm going to use, I don't know if it's safe or not. Could you test this first before I use it? That's all you got to do. Test it to see if there's any banned substances in there before I use it. That's what you need to do. You must have a rapport with the anti-doping agency and yourself, and you will not find yourself in a position where you're popping dirty. This is what Clarissa Shields does. This is what Devin Haney does. This is what any of these guys who don't pop dirty, well, not all of them, but some of them, you have a rapport with the anti-doping agency. You have a relationship with the anti-doping agency. There you will avoid having those kinds of problems happen to you because you have a relationship with them. So now they're willing to work with you. Yes. The New York State Athletic Commission has zero tolerance policy for PEDs. So you know he's going to get suspended. Throw the book at him for his incompetence and negligence, and that could cost Devin Haney. They have to throw the book at him for his incompetence and negligence. That could have cost Devin Haney his life, for sure. And I'm going to say this again. Devin Haney took wear and tear on that fight that is going to affect him later on in his life. Whether he likes it or not, that's just a reality. He took certain level of punishment. As a young age, it's not going to bother him so much. But later on in his life, it's going to come back to haunt him. Just like any injury you have when you're younger, that comes back to haunt you later on. So Devin Haney needs to get damages from that. He needs to get that from Ryan for cheating. And that can go, that dollar amount can go anywhere from millions to billions if he wants to, and just, clear the clock on Ryan. Because you cannot encourage people to do this. I don't know how Jarrell Baby Miller is getting so many passes. This dude has an upcoming fight again. This guy's a cheat. It's established. He's failed drug tests now on 3 separate fight occasions. What is this guy doing in boxing? Somehow he has connections. He's been working with certain people, and he's back in boxing again. But this guy's a consummate cheat. Dillian White, another consummate cheat. Right? Tyson Fury's a fucking cheat, for crying out loud. These guys had good alibis, or sufficient alibis for the boxing commissions to get them to apply. And I think Ryan Garcia is not going to get a tap on the shoulder with the New York State Athletic Commission. I don't think so, at least. Who knows? Money talks, bullshit walks. But ultimately, I think they're going to be hard on him. I think he's going to get suspended. He's not going to give a fuck that he's suspended. And he's going to continue his career, what he's doing, entertaining, etc. And he'd probably find other outlets to fight people Probably join, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and those guys fighting, MMA fighters and stuff like that, and music people. So, which doesn't need to be sanctioned, etc. And probably doesn't need to be commissioned. Maybe you'll do exhibitions. Who knows? But what we do know with Ryan Garcia is this. If the New York State Athletic Commission does not put its foot down and use him as a deterrent to this and send a signal to the boxing world, this is not the approach to take in terms of your application to the sport of boxing. Meaning, you can be entertaining as much as you want, but we're not going to encourage cheating. We're not going to encourage cheating. They need to do that. They need to send a clear statement. Otherwise, guys are just going to cheat. They're not going to care about about anti-doping tests anymore. They're going to dope up to the wazoo. They're not going to train like they're supposed to train anymore because they won't need to. Dope up and fight. Okay? And I'm not saying that there's not a significant portion of boxers, whether in the elite or even before the elite phase, who are doping and have not been caught. I'm not going to say that at all. But Ryan is a guy that these boxing commissions need to send a strong signal through so that these other boxers, they need to look to catch these guys. They need to look to catch these guys. And when you catch a guy, you need to make an example out of him. Jarrell Miller should not be boxing. Okay, Conor Benn, he's still banned in Great Britain. His case is still ongoing. The WBC, they freed him, but in Britain, he can't box in Britain. Okay, they're not playing. Okay, Alicia Baumgartner got away with it. Her ass ain't supposed. She should be suspended for a long period of time. Dillian White, he still got a chance at a world title. He shouldn't have had that opportunity after cheating so much. So boxing has dropped the ball on a couple of characters in boxing that gives a leeway for Ryan to get away with this, but I'm hoping not. But I'm gonna tell you this. There are people looking for Ryan right now to put bodily harm on him for what he did to Devin Haney and for fucking up their betting. Okay? So Ryan better watch his back. You know what I'm saying? And stop talking so crazy. That's what I got for you guys right now. I am what you need. You've been watching my channel. I hope you guys like, share, subscribe. Don't forget you're going to donate via PayPal. Shout out to Chavez. Bro, I can't see the rest of your comments. I've been looking high and low. Let me try again. Okay, don't forget you can smash the like button, people. I see a whole bunch of you guys watching my videos. You know what you need. Try to give you what you need. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to wrap that up. Also, I want to talk about some recent comments that Tank had about Shakur Stevenson. Recent comments I've heard people talking about Floyd Mayweather and etc. Let's start with Tank. Tank has been saying some things, and we got Adrian Broner versus Blair the Flair Cobbs that's coming up. We'll see how that goes. But I want to see what's his name? Tank. I want to see Tank. I want to see Tank face the best out there. Frank Martin is not the very best out there. We have Vasily Lomachenko. We have Shakur Stevenson. Okay. We have the guy that beat Navarrete, probably the weakest link out of all of them. And Tank has not been facing those guys. And he will continue to get criticism for not facing the very best. I really don't care about the Frank Martin fight. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. I want to see Tank face the best in any division he goes into. Say what you want about Devin Haney. He has done that. Say what you want about Shakur Stevenson. He's done that. Say what you want about Lomachenko. He's done that. The only guy who's not done that. In fact, say what you want about George Kambosos. He done that. He didn't beat the best, but he faced the best. Okay? Tank has none of those guys on his resume. He does not have a best guy anywhere on his resume. Not one. So, You know, that's what I'm interested in. So when you guys hear me, and I'm not talking about Tank versus Frank Martin fight, it's because I want Tank to step up and face the very best. You've been ducking and dodging the very best. All this talk about Frank Martin, don't give a damn about Frank Martin. I don't care about Frank Martin. Okay. Hold on a second here. Can't seem to get the comments. I don't know why this stupid thing don't work. Yeah, this is crazy. This is whack as fuck. Chavez, I really want to entertain your questions, but I can't see them. I'm trying to get in the comment section when the stream is over. I'm so sorry, man. I thought the stuff would come up. It's not coming up. I don't understand. Maybe this program has some sort of flaw or something. YouTube, man, y'all be whack as fuck sometimes. Whack fuck shit. See what happens if I turn off the camera. Oh, I get a what you need sign. Okay. It's whack as hell, y'all. Tell me if you can hear me. Maybe it'll come up. Say something to me. Let me see if I can get this thing to work. I'm gonna talk about a couple other things before I get out of here. Okay, so look at this illiterate fan who doesn't understand shit about boxing. Devin's lack of defense almost cost him his life. Not that billionth of a gram in Ryan's system. And he's laughing. Now you clearly can see that this fan don't know shit about boxing, right? He don't know shit about boxing. Right? How Boxing Works says, whatever helps you sleep at night. All right, so let's explain. Chris Algieri explained this. Paul Algieri said this, so this is not something I'm saying. Ostarine actually works with the tendons and ligaments of the joint between two muscles. So what happens is, well, the tendons, not the ligaments so much. What happens is, it causes reaction time to increase. So Ryan Garcia snapping that hook, he gets more power, he gets more turnover, and he gets more reaction time. Faster. He gets faster. So it wasn't easy to time Ryan's hook. That's the first thing. Ostarine also builds muscle, also causes for less deterioration of muscle wear and tear with weight loss. As you can see, Ryan's filled out. He was like fully filled out. He didn't have no dimples in his guns, in his biceps. He didn't have no dimples in his back. He was thick and leathery. So not only was he stronger, not only did he have better endurance than if he didn't take it, not only was he healthier because he didn't lose the weight he needed to lose, but he also had quicker reaction time to whip that hook. So Devin Haney was facing a guy with unnatural reflexes for his size. Ryan's always been a quick guy, though. And he was also facing a guy that was 5 to 10 times stronger than he normally would be. Right? That's the whole point of behind PEDs. PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. They're supposed to enhance your performance. That's the whole point. It's a guy hitting way harder than he normally would hit. So when Devin Haney got put down, I remember the second knockdown. Devin Haney actually blocked the left hook that hit him. He still got dropped. You know why? Ryan was hitting like a sledgehammer. I wasn't hitting normal. Something different. Okay? Now, you could say that Devin Haney's game plan wasn't the best game plan in the world. He didn't make no adjustment. Devin Haney was in go mode. He was, I'm doing the demolition on this motherfucker. He didn't care, right? In fact, at a certain point after he got dropped, he was just straight up brawling. He was banging, throwing the right hand, throwing the leaping left hook, and that's all he was doing most of the night. He even tried to change up his stuff. And the truth be told, they went with a certain game plan. They never made adjustments to that game plan when things changed. They doubled down on the game plan. So they took more damage than they should. So it's not that we're saying Devin Haney's lack of defense wasn't an issue on the night. We're saying that Ryan Garcia's enhanced power, strength, speed, reflexes was a serious factor on the night. People say, well, Devin Haney gave Ryan a chance to hit him like that. Sort of, kind of, no. See, think about this. If Ryan came in at 140 pounds, first of all, you've been weight drained. Two, if Ryan came in at 140 pounds without those PEDs, Devin Haney would have been able to take those shots. He'd have taken those shots. Devin Haney never went down. Nobody ever knocked Devin Haney down. So Devin Haney would have taken those shots and continued to do his assault on Ryan. Pretty much like what you saw with Lomachenko, pretty much you saw with any fighter. Because Devin Haney can take a shot. Devin Haney has never gone down in sparring or otherwise in his career until that night. And the reason he went down, because he's a tough dude, is because the other guy was cheating. So the shots that y'all saying, you know, he ate up, that put him down, whatever. You're talking about his lack of defense. It's only because Ryan put him down. If Ryan didn't put him down, y'all wouldn't be talking like that. If you bust up Ryan's ass, y'all wouldn't be talking like that. So PEDs do matter. That's why they're called PEDs. That's why they're called performance enhancing drugs. They do matter. You guys left any comments on here? Because I didn't see nothing pop up. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but I'm going to wrap it up right here. 46 minutes and 35 seconds on what you need. I was saying something about Tank. So I'm not interested in the Tank Frank Martin fight. Tank was talking about how you recommended that, what's his name? Shakur Stevenson go to top rank, whatever. Shakur Stevenson didn't make up his mind to go top rank just because of Tank. And Tank did well with Mayweather. Right now, Tank, you know, money-wise, he's doing very, very well. So, you know, Tank telling Shakur to not stay with Mayweather was a dumb idea anyway. And also looked like he wanted to reap the benefits of Mayweather and not have Shakur there to compete with him. So, you know, these kinds of conversations I hear Tank talking about don't make no sense to me. And trying to make Mayweather into more of a villain than he really is again retarded. Okay. So, anyways, that's what I got. But Mayweather, I don't know if he's still in Dubai. I think he's still in Dubai. They're talking about he had a debt, how, you know, his company had hosted some fight, didn't pay pay fighters or some shit like that, and that's why he's there. Whatever it is, we'll find out in time. We're hearing that, you know, one member of his team stole something. Probably got out of the country with it or whatever, and he's held back because of them. I don't know what it is, but what I can tell you is, ultimately in the end, it'll get sorted out somehow, some way. Dubai is a beautiful place anyway. But what I want to also say is that, you know, a lot of you guys listen to narratives and you don't know how to critically sift out what makes sense and what don't. You wait on channels like myself or whatever to, you know, educate you on these things. No, I'm going to tell you something. I'm just like you guys, okay? As much as I have a background in biomedical science and, you know, I have a background in chemistry and biochemistry and stuff like that, doesn't mean that you can't understand and know the things I know. It got Google today. You got Google today. You know, you can Google this shit. And it take you about 2-3 hours, but you understand exactly what's going on. And it will make sense to you. So I advise you guys to gather information for yourselves, learn things for yourselves. You want to watch videos, that's cool too. You know, Google has many different ways. YouTube has very different ways to get you up to speed on things pretty quickly. And you can get crash course in something. So that's what I would suggest to you guys. How much you need. Don't forget you can subscribe, share, and donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. I'm out of here. Peace. I'm down.